Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Athletics and Wellness Center, the campus of Earlham College, as we bring you Earlham men's basketball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Big matchup tonight as we welcome you to the Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show. We say big in several ways as Gerard O'Byrne is with us as well. We say big simply because this could go both ways for the Quakers. They've lost 4 in a row. They're 2-4 in the HCAC, and you're playing a team ahead of you, Gerard, that you know you're going to have to catch at some point, and Hanover's now 4-2 in the conference. So now that the Christmas break is over and the Quakers are trying to get back on the swing of things after losing to Rose, is this a must-win situation tonight in many ways for the Quakers?
Well, I would say yes, because as you just said, Troy, 4-2, at one point you're going to have to catch up to Hanover, and as a team you always talk about defend your home court.
Yeah.
And no better way to get back into the conference standings than to win on your home court versus a team that is ahead of you by a couple games. But then if you look at during their losing streak and also in previous games, you know, you lose to Transylvania by 1 point. That's tied for first in the conference.
Yep. You
lose to Bluffton off a buzzer beater, who is also tied for second in the conference. So a couple of buckets that don't go your way, next thing you know, you're 2-4, and the other teams are 4-2, 5-1. So I would call this a must-win because you're at your home court and you always got to protect the home court.
In your estimation, of course, we all are really back for the first time here for men's basketball here in the new calendar season. 4-game losing streak. The Quakers did not play well when they came back. They go to Rose. They lose that one 79-68. What have you seen, at least from the early portion of the season, this Quaker team has to do if they're going to really make a serious run toward a playoff spot at the end of the year?
Well, there's a number of things that I've seen. I've seen some games to where they struggle to make jump shots and just shots in general. There's times to where we see them play a great first half, and then the second half they have that lapse to where a team takes advantage and they'll storm through, take the lead, or Earlham will blow the lead. So for them to make a key run, they're going to have to play together as a team and have to play a full 40-minute game instead of playing 30, 35 minutes, and those 5 minutes are the killers.
When we come back, we're going to talk about this Hanover team. We mentioned 9-4, 4-2 in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and I'm going to tell you one thing I do know tonight, and we'll talk about rebounding. It's one thing that the Quakers did not do in 2 games last year in those 2 losses against Hanover, and that was rebound. Another one, keep the basketball in your own hands, because they turned it over in one of those games 27 times. We'll talk about that coming up as we continue on the Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
We check them better. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle is fully inspected and reconditioned by ASE and factory-trained technicians. And each Better Buy vehicle comes with a Carfax vehicle history report, so you know you can buy a vehicle with confidence. We back 'em better with a 3-day satisfaction guarantee. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified comes with a 3-day or 300-mile satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like it within that 3 days or 300 miles, just bring it back and we'll exchange it for a vehicle of equal value. Every Wetzel Better Buy certified vehicle comes with a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty. We price them better. We have dedicated individuals searching the entire country for the highest quality, lowest price vehicles for our inventory. In today's competitive market, we're constantly monitoring vehicle values to ensure that we're offering the best prices possible. We guarantee that every Wetzel Better Buy vehicle is the highest quality used car or truck around. Our reconditioning process guarantees that you are getting a vehicle as close to brand new as possible, and our warranties back that up.
Some people are born lucky. Other people take luck into their own hands, avoid stepping on sidewalk cracks, and wouldn't dare walk under a ladder. But whether you're born with luck or make your own, when it comes to your insurance coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance today or visit them online at infarmbureau.com to purchase an auto policy. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
We're back here at the Athletics and Wellness Center, moments away from the tip-off here tonight, the Panthers and the Quakers. Let's talk a little bit about rebounding. I'm going to go back to last year's two matchups. Quakers were out-rebounded in the first game 47-24, and the Quakers also turned the ball over at one point in one of their games last year 27 times. You cannot give a team that many second-chance opportunities, and yet it happened twice, and they lost both those games last year. What are they going to do tonight to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because a lot of the returners back for Hanover were a part of that team last year.
Well, you just said it. Rebounding and turnovers. You give a team 27 extra possessions, you guaranteed to lose. Or if you get out-rebounded by 20, it's very hard to win that style of ball game. So Coach Polikoff probably got his team ready all week of practice, being physical, boxing out, and then as a team, they've had problems with turnovers all year. So there's nothing new with this Earlham team. They have to protect the basketball, and especially with a good team like Hanover, they will make you pay for every mistake that you make.
Now we could even go back to last week because the Quakers were out-rebounded in that contest as well. So it's almost becoming a common theme right now where the Quakers are finding themselves down 15, 20 rebounds per game. That's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. And one thing that people see is when the shot goes up, a lot of guys get caught ball watching, and coaches always tell your shooters or anybody, one person gets back, everybody else crashes the glass. And if you're caught ball watching, it's offensive rebound every time. So you have to be physical, and you can't get caught ball watching. In order for these guys to have a good, solid rebounding game, he's got to get dirty in the paint.
And this is a good shooting Panther team. We'll talk about them because they shot 50% in both games last year. They're hoping for much of the same here tonight. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back to starters and the tip-off coming up in just a moment. This has been the Farm Beer Insurance with Kevin Shear pregame show right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Wish me luck, wish me luck. We've all said it. Thing is, life doesn't run on luck. For most people, it takes careful planning. A lot more than, say, crossing your fingers or toes. So talk to Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Because as your life changes, your life insurance coverage should do the same. And when it comes to your coverage, luck should have nothing to do with it. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood.
Questions about your coverage in Wayne County? Call 765-962-9548 and ask for me, Kevin Shear.
Since 1994, Beach Automotive has provided motorists in the Richmond area with comprehensive auto repair services that include car and truck care, alignment, brakes, tires, engine, transmission, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find the same level of expertise that our auto mechanic specialists provide. For a high-performing vehicle, trust Beach Automotive. To learn more, call 765-966-8181. Beach Automotive, 110 East Main Street, Richmond.
Big Boys Pizza is now open in Richmond, located at 1015 East Main Street, next door to the Civic Theater. The menu has great sandwiches, pasta, salads, and of course, pizza. Come dine in, carry out, or have your food delivered day or night, at home or at the office. Other locations are in Connorsville and Brookville. Bring in a sports ticket after any game and receive 10% off your purchase. Ticket must be dated for the same day as your purchase. Dine in, take out, or delivery, Big Boys Pizza. 765-488-0023.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we play. At West End Bank, we're not just in the community, we're a part of the community. And that's why we support over 100 programs for local nonprofits and schools, including our financial literacy program that positively impacts countless students throughout the area. You bank locally, so we give back locally. To watch people grow with endless possibilities.
And we're back here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. You see the Panthers being introduced to the home crowd here today. Let's go back over to Gerard. He has the starting lineups.
So starting senior 5'11" guard from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 3, Cam Fales. 6-foot sophomore out of New Albany, Indiana, number 5, Isaac Hibbard. 6'2" junior out of Greenfield, Indiana, number 21, Blake Robinson. 6'3" junior out of Danville, Indiana, number 25, Ryan Clonks. And to round out the starting five for Hanover, a 6'5" junior from Edinburgh, Indiana, number 40, Kevin Williams. And your starting five for the Quakers is 6'3" junior out of Gary, Indiana, number 0, Kenneth Stallings. 5'10" freshman out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 2, Anthony Phillips. 6-foot sophomore out of Muncie, Indiana, number 12, Jamel Barnes. 6'4" senior out of Indianapolis, Indiana, number 35, Darrell Hutchinson Jr. And to round out the starting five for the Quakers, a 6'10" freshman out of Osgood, Indiana, number 45, Connor Hubbard.
All right, there are the starters here tonight, and want to remind you again that the Quakers come in at 3-10 on the season. They've lost 4 in a row. The Quakers only 2-5 here at home. That's been a big key this season as well. And for the Panthers, 9-4 on the season, 4-2 in the conference. They are 3-3 on the road. They're just fresh off a win over Manchester in their last game, 88-69. We'll, of course, talk more about these two teams as we go along here tonight. So it is the two big guys in the middle, Kevin Williams against Connor Hubbard. The Panthers are in their traveling blue uniforms, Quakers in their home whites, and we are underway. It'll be Quaker basketball. And, boy, Anthony Phillips, you liked him earlier in the year, and he's getting the start here tonight.
I liked him because he's such a pest on defense. As you already see, he's picking up full court pressure, nearly gets a steal. So I've always liked him because he's very aggressive on the defensive end, and that can spark a team.
By the way, that was Darrell Hutchison who got the first basket of the ball game, leads the Quakers in scoring. It's Hanover basketball, three-pointer deep in the corner. That is no good. And we'll head the other way. The first miss of the night by Isaac Hubbard out of New Albany. Great basketball program. Of course, you may recognize the name of Romeo, who was at New Albany at the same time, Romeo Langford. Quaker basketball, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Stallings from about 15, missed it. And the rebound pulled down by Cam Fales. Fales, by the way, has really hurt this Quaker team in their last two meetings, so they'll have to keep an eye on him. His left-hand shot is missed, and the rebound by Hubbard.
Seems like he's hurting the whole conference, averaging 21 points a game.
Yeah, he's a very, very good player. He's out of Cincinnati, played at Kings High School. That is Hubbard on the low post, back in the starting lineup for the Quakers. 14 on the shot clock. Here is Jamel Barnes. We'll see his former school for Muncie Central coming up on Friday night, as Richmond will be on the road at Muncie Central. That ball is out of bounds, and they'll say that it was stepped out by Isaac Hubbard there for the Panthers. This is a Panther team averaging 73 points per game. Good defensively, giving up just 63 as that shot is missed from the right wing. It goes out of bounds. Quakers were looking to get that basketball, and that was Darrell Hutchison who missed it. And I was kind of watching head coach Jason Polikoff. He was holding his head over there on the sideline.
Well, I saw it from up here. It bounced off Hanover, so I understand why he has such an aggressive reaction to that call.
We've got a whistle and a timeout, at least for the foul call. And they're going to get Earlham's Anthony Phillips. So Phillips commits the foul. That is his first. That is team foul number 1 of the ball game. Hanover basketball off the inbound, and the three-point shot is no good. Coming up empty, Ryan Klonks out of Danville High School. And it'll be Quaker basketball. Third time Quakers have had it, still leading it 2-0 here in the first half of play. 16 on the shot clock. Here is Jamel Barnes once again in the corner. The ball goes out of bounds. Turnover for the Quakers.
That was just a case of Barnes trying to force it a little too much. I thought after Connor set the screen, he could have easily dumped it off to him, and Connor could have had an easy 5-foot shot.
You know, a lot of teams like to throw that ball in the corner so many times. I don't really ever understand why a player doesn't get down there and force it back outside.
Well, on that one, I thought Phillips got down there a little too quick to where the defender was able to stand there, and it forced a very tough pass for Barnes.
Hanover will go to the line. That foul's going to be called on Hubbard. He's going to pick up his first, the freshman out of Osgood, Indiana. Connor had sat the bench a little bit there in the last few games we had, and maybe a motivational factor, but as a freshman sometimes it's always hard to keep consistency game in and game out.
Well, I think this is a perfect game for Connor because the big man for Hanover is 6'5", and Connor's 6'10".
Yeah.
And so I think Polikoff's thinking behind today's game was to try to use Connor's size as not only as an offensive threat, but to control the rebounding battle as well.
Just over 17 minutes remaining in the first half. Quakers a 2-1 lead. That was at the free throw line a couple of moments ago, number 21, Blake Robertson out of Greenfield Central High School. Low scoring beginning of this one. There's Hubbard trying to dunk it inside. Might have been blocked from behind. It may have been Kevin Williams who got a hand on it.
But just like we talked about last time, after the screen, pick and roll, he was able to dump it off, and he got a good look. Just a great block by Hanover.
Panthers attack with 15 on the shot clock. That was a good look at Hubbard. Should say Hibbard, nothing inside. We've got a Hubbard and a Hibbard. Hubbard for the Quakers, Hibbard for Hanover, and that is Hibbard right there getting the basket. He's on the board, 3-2, Panthers on top. Isaac Hibbard again out of New Albany High School. This is Phillips. No one has gone to their bench yet in our first 4 minutes of play. Phillips deep in the corners. The Quakers run that shot clock now down to 10. Phillips, the pick and roll. He's going to pull up and shoot it himself. Boy, he missed badly. Must have got a hit on the arm right there, but he comes back and gets a deflection. You know, you'd think as an official, you know most of these players don't miss one that bad. That there had been some contact someplace. That is fails right there.
Sometimes you get the officials that like to let you play a little bit more physical than some of the other officials, so didn't work out in the Quakers' way on that last possession.
Fails gets his bucket to make it a 5-2 ball game, and now we've got a whistle and a foul away from the basketball. 15:34 remaining here in the first half. Let's see, that foul is going to be called against number 40. That's Kevin Williams out of Columbus East High School. He comes out. Checking in will be Christian Reed, played at Silver Creek High School out of Sellersburg, Indiana, 6'5 junior. He is now checked in. Quaker basketball, 20 on the shot clock, and the entry pass turnover. And that's really an unforced error.
Yeah, he threw it so softly, anybody would be able to steal it. And those are the type of turnovers that can really make a coach very upset with your team.
Try baseline. Hubbard may have gotten a piece of that one as it goes out of bounds. Shot attempt there by Ryan Klunks. By the way, Hanover mentioned, you know, they only give up 63 points per game. They're a really good defensive team. They held the Quakers last year in both of those games to less than 60 points in both contests. So in first game, of course, they went on a scoring spree. 90-54 in game one. They won the second game 77-54, and they held the Quakers, again, both games near the 40 percentile mark. So their defense very good.
Well, so far, we're on pace for that because Hanover has held Earlham without a point in the past 5 minutes. We saw a bucket on the first possession of the game and ain't scored since.
Well, that was quickly pushed down the floor, and the basket good by Hibbard.
And that's bad transition defense. Somebody's got to help up and stop the ball.
Quaker basketball, another turnover. 3-on-3 break the other way. We've got a whistle and stoppage of play. And a foul call against the Quakers. That may be Darrell picking up the foul. Well, there's two. I guess what the first one we said unforced. I think the second one pretty close, though. But, boy, if your point guard turns the ball over 3-4 times a game, you're really going to struggle.
Struggle and then getting back in transition. We saw number 5, Hibbard, took it full length of the court and nobody stopped him, and he got an easy layup. That's also another thing that would make me pissed as a coach is we're not picking up full court transition. We can't let a guy dribble from one end to another and get an easy layup.
Quaker's going to make a change, and so coming into the ball game, there'll be a veteran of this team. That is number 10, Isaiah Ware. So Ware's been through the battles many times. He'll come in to try to help control, as you see now Hanover, a little full-court trap. Quakers able to get that across the timeline, and another turnover.
You can't loft the post pass in there. And as you see Reed, easy tip. You got to bounce past it or throw it a little harder.
That three way short as Cam fails, unable to get that one to fall. Quaker basketball, we're going to see another change for the Quakers. It looks like Thomas Sanborn is coming in as that shot by Stallings a little bit forced. And now the Quakers down by 7. Basketball back again to the Panthers. And I'm not sure about you, and we've seen the Quakers come back in games, but I don't know that they really play all that well playing from behind, and that's a good basket underneath by Christian Reed. We're going to take a quick timeout. Right now, it is all Hanover here in the first half of play on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Panthers on top of Earlham, 11-2.
Kate's Cages is the #1 indoor training facility for baseball and softball in Richmond by far. With top-flight instructors, you will learn how to play the game the right way. Everything from pitching, hitting, catching, and fielding. Kate's Cages will also have the opportunity to participate in triple play fall ball, the softball academy, individual and team camps, and individual private workouts. Kate's Cages Baseball and Softball Indoor Training Facility, 1366 Rose City Boulevard. Call 993-2353 for more information.
Troy Nargowski along with Gerard O'Byrne, and right now the Quakers have not scored in nearly 6 minutes, and they find themselves now down by 9 points. Just don't want to do this against a good basketball team like Hanover, because you're going to be battling from here until the end of the ball game.
Well, and we've seen this in so many previous games. How you start is important. And right now the tone for the Quakers is turnovers, forced shots, and then Hanover's, a lot of their points are easy layups. So Coach Polygoff has to get his team to settle down, take care of the basketball, and not force offensive shots.
7 on the shot clock. Darrell baseline shot good, so at least the drought is over. Darrell getting the basket. He has all 4 points for the Quakers.
And then coming off, and Troy, you can correct me on this, I think 19 last game was his season high.
Yeah.
And so coming off his season high, he's got the hot hand coming into the game. That's who I think Earlham should try to focus their offense on a little bit more.
Hibbard misses that jumper for the Panthers. Quakers back in the half court. There's Hubbard. Ware wide open for 3. Good. There you go.
You see, that's good offense. Not 4 shots. You get it in the post touch. He tries to help off a little bit. Pass it back out to the open player. Easy 3.
So Quakers, after failing to score for nearly 6 minutes, 2 straight baskets, right back in this ball game. Hanover back the other way. That shot will be missed as Zach Harp is in out of Cincinnati Elder High School. Ball goes out of bounds. Quakers another turnover, and I believe that's going to be number 5, or is that a foul call?
It's a turnover and a foul.
So you get a turnover and a foul, so a double negative right there. As we come up on the 12-minute mark here in the first half of play, and coming back into the ball game will be Kevin Williams. Played his basketball at Columbus East, and we're going to see a change here for the Quakers. Connor Hubbard is out. Q Leonard, or I should say Q Rucker, coming in for the Quakers. Rucker, we have seen him get some starts this year, but he is now coming off the bench for the Quakers. Half court again, Quakers stay man. Rucker on the guard down in the low post. Off the pivot, Williams. Here's Hibbard once again, back to Williams. Williams surveys, 14-footer no good, and Barnes will get the rebound.
That was a very good defensive possession. Help and rotation was spot on.
So now the Quakers a chance to get 3 straight baskets. We mentioned Thomas Sanborn is in. Here's Rucker, jumper no. And it comes off the rim now to Fales. 3-pointer from the left wing. That is missed. Neither team shooting particularly well here early. Blake Robertson unable to connect there. 33% for Hanover, 30% for the Quakers. Darrell in the lane. Good. Darrell just so big and strong in what was now a 7-0 run for the Quakers.
Offense should go through Hutchinson. He's a big boy, and as we just saw right there, he knows how to use his size to his advantage.
Well, that'll help your cause right there, as coming back was Cam Fales. Hits the 3-pointer, and they needed that after a 7-0 run, and that was an offensive foul right there, not called against Jamel Barnes. Here's Darrell off the drive. Good.
Keep feeding him. He's hot right now. and he's stronger, and it seems to be anybody on the court right now. So I would keep going back to him.
Well, and he's a senior, as there's a jump ball, I believe. Yes. You know, being a senior, you expect more out of seniors. He's you know, of course, early in his career, he decided not to play in his freshman year. He's come back, and every year, I think you expect a little bit more out of him. You kind of forget, though, he's only about 6'2", 6'3", so he's doing a lot as an undersized post-type player.
And it looks like he's caught a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah.
19 the last game. He's already got 9 points, 11s. And he just seems to be the engine that's for Earlham at this moment in time.
Fails, by the way, hits that jumper. He has 2 straight baskets. The Quakers making a change. Blake Bonin is checked in. Blake coming off the bench in today's game, and we've got a whistle, and I believe that's an offensive foul on Rucker. Which, by the way, translates into a turnover because you just gave up the basketball.
Well, look at the previous few possessions. You know, it was team basketball, good passes, and easy layups. It was one pass to Q, tried to do one-on-one, and gets an offensive foul. Bad offense.
Yeah, a little bit too much individual at times. And you made a great point right there. Those 2 possessions they had, it was good team basketball. They found the open man.
And sometimes that's what you don't understand about this team is why go away from it.
Well, there's another 3-pointer, this time by Zach Harp. The Cincinnati connection doing the job here now for the Panthers.
Well, I think the ref made a no call. Blake Bonin tried to take the charge right there, and that's why he got so open in the corner.
Quakers back the other way themselves. Back to a 5-point lead. Quakers back again man-to-man, and 19 on the shot clock now as you see Rats in the ball game. Logan Rats out of Martinsville, Indiana. So now both teams going deep into their bench here in the first half. This is Rats. Off now to Harp. His 3-point bucket good. And now both teams hitting 3-pointers.
Tough shot right there. You got a hand in the face. It was good team defense for the whole possession. Tip your cap off to him.
Yeah, Harp, by the way, now with 6.
That was a great shot.
Well, that quick release in the corner. 3-pointer. Blake Bonin coming back the other way for the Quakers.
Trading threes right now. A little bit of a 3-point contest.
He has maybe the quickest release of anybody you're going to see, and I know he has to because he's not a big guy. So he's got to find a way to get that shot off. Fale's going to do the same thing, though he misses. Quakers down by 5 as we are getting close to the 8-minute mark. Should be a TV timeout here pretty soon. Here in the first half. That's Rucker. Can't get it to fall. Tipped as El Dasugi is checked in for the Quakers. That is Tariq El Dasugi. Bonin tried to get the tie-up right there, and then we got a foul call as Rucker knocks Fales to the floor. So it looks like we're going to go to the free throw line. And, you know, one thing you mentioned about Q is that he plays with passion and sometimes plays a little bit out of control. I know he's a JC transfer, and you got to try to get him acclimated to more of team basketball. When does that come in for him, though, at some point? Because they need his athleticism for sure.
Well, I think every game that you get more acclimated to the system, because I can tell you from personal experience, junior college ball is way different. You know, guys have the main mindset of I'm trying to get to the next level.
That's right.
And so it's all about myself, even though we're all wearing the same jerseys. And so that can take a while to change that mindset of, you know, I have to go out and get mine. And so I think every game that he plays, every minute he plays, he gets more and more comfortable and acclimated to Coach Polykoff's system.
Christian Reed will check in. And here's the other thing. When you look at the Quakers this year, they've had so many different combinations of starting lineups. And Coach really hasn't settled on anything yet. We kind of saw that again here tonight. At some point, you say, listen, I've got to find a good rotation, get my starters down, know who's coming off the bench, and know their roles. And I don't think that's really happened yet.
Yes, and honestly, so far, this is kind of late into the season to trying to be figuring this out. Usually before conference is when you use that time to figure out who can do what your starting five is going to be. I think Polycarp is trying to mix it up to try to find that spark on the 4-game losing streak. But, you said it right. If you keep changing up the lineups, people are not going to understand what their roles are as the team. So, yes, sooner rather than later, he should have his starting five and his rotation players locked in so people can start playing their roles.
Well, the Quakers better take care of the basketball. There's a miss. In fact, might have been blocked underneath, and then the putback by Clonks once again. Quakers back down by 9. That's 7 turnovers, by the way, for the Quakers. And, well, you mentioned the pace they're on right now. They could hit 27 pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
Quaker basketball. Phillips back in. Bounce pass intended for El Dasugi. And Tariq can't get it. And Hanover basketball. Boy, that's a shot you got to make.
In this time of the ball game, yes. Because Hanover is finding their rhythm. They're playing good basketball, good offense.
3-pointer at the top. That rims in and out. Clocks once again, the junior.
Tariq got bailed out right there because he was supposed to be guard. That was a long three.
Wow.
Yeah.
Caught us all off guard. That's an offensive foul as Bonnet, after missing the shot, comes back and takes the charge on Hibbard.
But going back to what I was just saying, Tariq left the guy at the top of the key. Don't know why, but that's why he got such a wide open look. And I know if he would have hit that shot, Polygoff might have blew a gasket.
We thought we saw a gasket go earlier when he saw that one ball go out of bounds. All right, Quakers playing from behind again, down by 9. Darrell from 16, no good. Quakers still only shooting 41% here in the first half. Hanover, they probably say, you know what, I don't mind if we shoot 45% on the road, but when you're at home, you better shoot better now than 39%, like the Quakers are doing.
If you want to beat a team like Hanover and get back into the conference standings, yeah, you're going to have to do a lot better than what's been shown.
Hanover able to get a second chance. Barnes with a rebound as Quakers unable to rebound on that possession. Here's Barnes back the other way. Pull-up shot, another one in and out. Quakers now 7 of 19 in the shooting department here in the first half.
And you see, that's a bad offensive possession. You get the rebound, you push it up, and you immediately go into a 3-ball. That is an offensive possession your coach just does not like to see, especially when you're trailing by 9 and you're not shooting the basketball particularly well.
We will head back to the free throw line. By the way, other games going on tonight. Transylvania, they're on the road at Mount St. Joe. Rose is at Franklin. So your top 2 teams in the conference on the road tonight. Manchester's at Anderson and Bluffton is at Defiance. So I should clarify that. You have 3 of your top 4 teams. Then if you add Hanover to that, you got 4 out of your top 5 on the road tonight. So that even makes this game even a little more important. You're hoping maybe Franklin, Mount St. Joe, and Defiance can pull off an upset here tonight.
Also, what makes this game so important is if you beat Hanover, that's one of the top teams in the conference, but then your next 2 games are against Franklin and Defiance, 2 teams who are in the lower part of the conference. So you get 3 straight wins, all of a sudden you're back into the conversation with the top dogs.
Down by 10 after that second free throw was missed. Sanborn hits the 3. So Thomas Sanborn starting to get more playing time. They'll need his outside shooting, and they got him right there. Sanborn now with 6. 2 3-pointers. 19 on the shot clock. Ball loose. Turnover by the Panthers. That was Christian Reed trying to make a move. Sanborn again. This one is blocked. But right in the hands of Barnes, and he's going to go to the line.
That's good hustle right there by Barnes. Also, I thought Bonin could have took that 3-point right there, but it was a nice extra pass to Sanborn, who had just hit a 3, so I understand his thinking behind that. But that's what Earlham is going to need. Good possessions on offense and defensive stops to regain control of the ballgame.
Quakers are going to make a couple of changes. One of their players still trying to get his uniform on, as that is Elijah Galloway, and that free throw is missed by Barnes. I want to ask Galloway, where was his jersey at?
I think he took it off with his warm-up. My question is, So far this season, what we've seen, I don't think we've seen Paul Lakoff go this deep into his bench before.
Yeah, he's gone really deep, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And generally, as the season goes along, you see teams kind of shorten that bench even more.
So I'm wondering if he knew the pace was going to be, up and down. Whoa.
Well, you better get back, though. And the Quakers unable to get back, and they give up. If you're going to press, you better get somebody back. Williams scores.
If you press, you can't have an opponent wide open with nobody within range.
There's Galloway. Doesn't need a jersey.
But Earlham needed those 2 points.
Yes. So Galloway off the bench, and within seconds gets his first 2. Fails, by the way. Phillips tried to get on Fails, and Fails kind of gave him a little shimmy that time. Panthers trying to go back inside, and the ball loose, and 2 straight turnovers that time by Williams. So now the Quakers down by 6 here in the first half. We're coming up on the 4-minute mark. There's Stallings, and that's going to be short. Rebounded, and the putback, no. Good rebound, though, by Galloway.
At that moment, Galloway, gather yourself real quick, power dribble, and go up. It was a good offensive rebound, but don't quickly try to put it back up. Gather yourself, power dribble, and finish up strong.
Well, that time Stallings fell down. Easy basket that time for the Panthers. Back to an 8-point lead here in the first half. Quakers slowly come back, and we've seen that deficit get above the 10-point mark, and then the Quakers make a run. Can they get over the hump? That's the key. 7 on the shot clock. Darrell on the drive will find Barnes. His 3 is good, right at the buzzer. And we've got a media timeout right here. 3:17 remaining in the first half on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard. Quakers trail it by 5.
At First Bank Richmond, we provide you with an excellent banking experience. Whether it's personal checking, savings, mortgage loans, consumer loans, retail lending, or trust and investments, you can count on First Bank Richmond. First Bank Richmond has been serving the Richmond area since 1887. For more information, give them a call at 962-2581 or go to their website at firstbankrichmond.com.
By the way, today's game brought to you in part by your Richmond area Subways. Each day of the week, you can get a different 6-inch sub with no artificial flavors or colors, only $3.50. Every Wednesday, the turkey breast, Thursday, the Italian BMT, and Friday, the tuna. Treat yourself at Subway. 4 locations in Richmond and Hagerstown. Subway, eat fresh. Well, I said earlier, and we have seen the Quakers, they have at times, you'll see them get behind, and we've actually witnessed them make a nice run. Now, they're doing it several times, but you know as well as I do that you get into some of these games, how many times can you keep coming back until you can't get over that hump because you use so much energy in a ball game like this?
Exactly. And we're seeing them, as you just said, trying to push, trying to get over that hump. And I think you, of all people, know as best, Troy, is that every time that the Hanover, in this case, pushes the lead, it gets a little bit bigger this time, and it'll get a little bit bigger the next time. So this is why I think these last 3 minutes is such a crucial part of this ball game, because how you finish this half could determine how the rest of the game is going to go.
Well, and a lot of players, they don't understand that because momentum is such a big thing. Hanover losing the basketball and nearly turned it over. They have had not as great a luck holding onto the basketball in their last couple of possessions, and got away with a travel. That shot's off the mark, and we've got a rebounding foul, and that's going to go against Hanover. By the way, that shot was missed by Ryan Klunks.
It's good defense by Galloway right there.
Well, Quakers, believe it or not, as poorly as they have shot, Hanover's not exactly blitzing this one tonight after, of course, the last 2 meetings in which they have shot 50%. They're only at 44% in this one here tonight. So Quakers right in this ball game.
That's why I think this is such a crucial stretch, because we've seen a few times Hanover has a stretch to where they can hit a couple of threes back-to-back, and if that happens, next thing you know, they're back up 11.
Well, here's your senior, Daryl Hutchison, on the drive. No, and again, that's probably not what you're looking for, right? Maybe kick that thing out?
Yes, and I know he's had a couple of good games, and he's having a good game so far today. Yes, you don't force up shots. Get it out, try to repost, get better position, or get a better shot than that.
Yeah, especially when you know there's 3 guys on you. Somebody has to be open, and we've got a whistle underneath on the drive by, looks like that may have been Stallings. And we've got a foul call after the ball came loose. So that would essentially be a turnover, and then you pick up the foul as well.
Well, I mean, I just don't – we've seen multiple times Kenneth will drive and – he's putting his body into 2 or 3 defenders from Hanover and forces a tough shot. And that one was at the beginning of the shot clock, so I don't understand his thinking behind that one.
Yeah.
Get a couple passes in there. The drive is going to be there, but trying to force it and then force your body into a couple of Hanover defenders, you're not going to win those battles 9 times out of 10.
The one in bonus. And, and I think you and I have talked about this before. There are a couple of things in basketball that are gone, and one of those is the mid-range jumper.
Yes.
Players now have decided there's nothing that I can do at 15, 14 feet. I'm either going to drive it in and bowl everybody over, or I'm going to take the three-pointer. What happened in the mid-range jumper?
I think we've seen NBA players shoot so many threes nowadays. Back in the day, dunking was the flashing part of basketball. It still is today, but now we've seen so many three-pointers. You said it right. The mid-ranger is gone. I guess.
But let me ask you, and if you're playing this game right now, Sanborn and the Quakers with a basketball, there's Rucker off the drive and missed it. If you see 2 or 3 guys in front of you and you know that you're at the free throw line and we've got a collision at the other end, that'll be an offensive foul on Hanover. But if I see that, and let's say the free throw line is here and I'm almost there and they're standing there, why am I going to try to run them over?
And that's a lot into guys' mindsets. Guys don't ever think about the mid-range nowadays. They think about the layups or the threes, as you just said. But I agree with you. If I'm driving and I see a defender keep backing up, then I'm going to easily take the mid-range instead of either getting the offensive foul or taking a tough layup. And I think so many times we see throughout a basketball game, the mid-range is always open.
Yes.
Like, teams are no longer playing you for the mid-range, so you can have it anytime you want. But guys only think about three-pointers and layups.
See, and that was an instance right there. Sanborn missed that shot. He was driving. Why didn't you just pull up right there? Those guys that were back on their heels that time. Mm-hmm. There's a drive the other way. Basket good again by the Panthers. So Hanover, that's, by the way, Christian Reed. I just think they really got to think about that if you can hit it from 13, 14 feet, go ahead and do it.
Well, and another aspect guys don't understand is a mid-range can set up your three-point game.
Exactly.
And also it can set up your layup game and your three-point game. You start making mid-rangers, good shot by Bonin, then you start making mid-rangers, then they're going to play you for the mid-range. Next thing you know, you got more space on your three-pointers. So you start hitting that, they're going to play up on you. Next thing you know, the driving lane is open. So a mid-ranger plays a key part into every aspect of the game.
Lots of options. Here's Fales with 2 seconds to go. Loses the basketball, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. Well, we've made it to halftime. It hasn't been a pretty first half. Statistically, both teams really struggling in the shooting department. We're going to come back in a few moments, run down those first half numbers on the scoreboard. The Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard at halftime, Hanover 33 and Earlham 28. Stay right there. This is Earlham men's basketball right here in Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Georgia Direct is your one-stop source for floor coverings and decorating ideas for remodeling a home, office, kitchen, or bathroom. Their showroom offers quality products from Mohawk, Shaw, Armstrong, Craft-Made, and many more. They proudly offer Richmond the best quality and variety of home design solutions at competitive prices. At Georgia Direct, their goal is to deliver an outstanding customer experience from selection through installation. Georgia Direct Carpets and Cabinets, 5200 National Road East, Richmond. After the unexpected, expect us. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance of Fayette, Rush, Union, Decatur, and Shelby counties. Auto, home, life, renters, farm, crop, and business coverage. Coverage you need in a language you know. We take customer satisfaction seriously and don't take a cookie-cutter approach to your coverage. For more information, call 800-723-3276 or go to their website, in.farmbureau.com.
Hey, this is Steve, and out at Jiffy Lube the other day, a customer came in and said, Steve, this was my 100th oil change on this car, and you've done them all.
Hi, my name is George Farrell, and I've been coming to Jiffy Lube for over 14 years. I recently just had my 100th oil change. I'd like to thank Steve Funkhauser and his staff for the great service that they've provided me over the years. Thank you to all, and I would recommend anyone to come to Jiffy Lube to get their car serviced.
Jiffy Lube, #1 in customer satisfaction for a reason.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
At Harrington Hogue, we believe your life belongs to you. That's why we work hard to make sure that your insurance coverage is the last thing you have to worry about. So when it comes to keeping you protected,
we got this.
Hello, my name is Kyle Schwarzkopf. I'm the manager of Kyle's National Road Auto in business in Richmond since 1979. We employ ASE certified technicians and we have over 80 years of experience. We work on all domestics and most European and Japanese cars. Give us a call at 966-1555. Kyle's National Road Auto Service. My name is Kyle Schwarzkopf and I approve this message.
Little Sheba's Restaurant and Zini's Place. Come join us in Richmond at 175 Fort Wayne Avenue or at our newest location in Centerville at 129 East Main Street. Grab one of our gourmet pizzas, a deluxe sandwich, steak or fresh salad, and an ice-cold beer or your favorite wine. Featuring live music every Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, plus more in our smoke-free environment. 10% discount with a valid student ID. It's better than being home. New Vision Sports is a training program that focuses on the training and improvement of the serious-minded athlete, including all ages and skill levels. From creating customized workout plans to providing ongoing motivation and support, New Vision strives to help you achieve your training goals. Their trainers use a variety of effective workout plans based on your specific goals. New Vision Sports, 977-5831, or go to their website, newvisionsports.com. That's New Vision Sports with a Z.
Best One Tire and Service has been committed to our partners since 1948. With more than 250 locations in 26 states, Best One puts over 1 million tires on the road every year. Superior tires, expert service, competitive prices. Best One Tire and Service, where the best costs less.
Hi, I'm Roger Clark with Best One of Richmond. Because Best One is one of Bridgestone's largest retailers, we offer exclusive Bridgestone savings. Visit us in Richmond to save on Bridgestone tires today.
It is halftime, and the Quakers trail at 33-28. Welcome back as we will talk about this first half in just a couple of moments. Before we do so, a reminder, tonight's game brought to you in part by Best Western Classic of Richmond. If you're in the Richmond area anytime soon and you're looking for a place to stay, try the Best Western Classic. You get the most amenities available, including indoor pool, fitness center, conference space, free buffet breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and, of course, a clean, quiet, comfortable room. Best Western Classic of Richmond, 533 West, Eaton Pike. All right, before we get to these numbers, I think both of us would agree, and everybody that's up here right now would agree, that was not a very pretty first half of play. Either way, was it?
Nope. We saw a lot of bad shots, a lot of missed shots, forced turnovers, forced shots, bad defense, and I guess you can describe this game as an ugly game right now.
Yeah, they were, by the way, Quakers ended up shooting at 37% in the first half. They were only 11 of 30, but they did shoot pretty well from 3 at 5 of 9. On the other side of that ledger, you look, and this is a team, again, when you look at Hanover over the last 2 meetings, they've been shooting at 50% against the Quakers. So either the Quaker defense has gotten better or Hanover's just having one of those nights where it's just not falling down for them, and they really struggled from three-point range. They were 3 of 13 for only 23% and shot 43% overall. And from the rebounding department, Quakers hanging in there. It was evenly divided at 19 each. In the turnover department, Quakers got out to a terrible start, but they've only turned it over 8 times, so they cut that down as well. So we're thinking now if all the mathematics will work out right, and I was a math major in college. You knew about my 4.0, right? I've told you about that before.
You won't stop talking about it.
If it all comes down to it, if the Quakers can shoot a little bit better, they can win this game, but they got to hit the buckets.
And that also works in the case of Hanover, because we've also have seen 4 or 5 wide-open three-pointers that Hanover has missed. So if I'm Earlham, I'm not going to keep relying on Hanover to miss wide-open three-pointers.
Yeah.
And, as you said, rebounding is so even to where it's 19-19, but each team's got 17 defense, 2 offensive rebounds. And right now, the difference is we're 1 for 2 from the free throw line, and Hanover 6 for 9. 5-point difference, 5-point ball game. But right now, you got to keep being physical on the defensive rebounds. And right now, it seems the way the game is going, whoever can hit a few more jump shots than the other is going to win the game.
All right, I want to go back to the free throws before we take another break, and we'll run down the scoring numbers here. When I look at 1 for 2 from the line in 20 minutes of basketball, and again, this might be a fine line for some people, getting into the rim and trying to get the foul calls and such. But I think there's a difference between getting into the rim when everything is congested, as opposed to getting into the rim maybe in a one-on-one situation where you can't get to the free throw line, but only 2 free throw attempts in the first half. That's got to change.
Well, you look back on it, and maybe there's a call or two that the referees missed. But, Troy, let me ask you this. How many times have we seen players force their way to the free throw line, and referees are not going to call that?
Yeah.
If you force yourself between multiple bodies, referees are not going to call that every time. So that's why they've only shot 2 free throws, because we've seen multiple players try to force their way to the basket, try to force the contact, and the referees, they've clearly shown they're not having it tonight.
Yeah. And it was Jamel Barnes who got to the free throw line. Nobody else has gotten there yet. Again, with only 2, there's not a whole lot of options right there. Run down the first half numbers. First off for the Panthers, Fales with 9, Hibbard with 4, Robertson with 3, Clonks with 4, Williams with 2, Rats with a single point, Harp with 6, and Reed with 4. Quakers, nobody in double figures, but Hutchison did have 8. 4 points by Barnes, 2 points by Galloway, 3 by Ware, 6 by Sanborn, and Blake Bonnet off the bench with 5 points. So that's where we stand again in the first half of play. And by the way, you can also check out those first half stats by going to GoEarlham.com. There's also plenty of other information there about not only men's and women's basketball, but believe it or not, we are only about a little over a month away from baseball and lacrosse. Yeah, I know. We're going to start in February. The way the snow was coming down earlier on the east side of town, we'll be lucky if we play both those in February, but at least we're almost there as a brand new season coming up for the men's, lacrosse and women's lacrosse and baseball. We're going to check out the college basketball scoreboard coming up in just a couple of moments, and then we'll be back with the second half here at the Athletics and Wellness Center. Your halftime score on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard: Hanover 33, Earlham 28. This is Earlham men's basketball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
Mancino's is family-friendly, serving fresh grinders, pizza, pasta, and salads daily. They serve great food priced for family budgets. And whether it's one of their homemade grinders, salads, or pizza, there's sure to be something for everyone in your family. Our baking process may cost a little more and take more time, but the end result of freshness and flavor make the real difference in all of Mancino's award-winning products. Mancino's of Richmond. Give them a call at 966-1161 or go to their website, mancinosofrichmond.com.
As an internet service provider, Parallax Systems offers reliable residential high-speed internet service and business service. With a fiber backbone reaching over 150 miles, we have created a multifaceted delivery system. Our dark fiber leasing has proved beneficial to public and private sectors alike. Parallax serves Wayne County and surrounding areas. Parallax Systems, when speed matters, a division of Richmond Power and Light.
At the Reed Orthopedic Center, our physicians and support team devote themselves to helping you return to a healthy and active lifestyle. Our expertise includes shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, wrist, hip, and knee injuries, as well as pain management and rehabilitation, and school athletic training programs and sports medicine. We are committed to providing you with the best possible orthopedic treatment that we can. To request an appointment at the Reed Orthopedic Center, call 765-935-8905.
Hey, while we have a moment here at halftime, let's go ahead and check out some of the college basketball that's going on tonight. In fact, a very busy night in men's college basketball. A couple of games are underway. In fact, even in the second half, as number 9 Virginia Tech, they're leading Georgia Tech 39-29. Also in the second half, Ole Miss looking to upset number 11 Auburn, as Ole Miss on top of that one, 44-39. In the second half, it's Rutgers now leading number 16 Ohio State, 36-35. In the second half as well, Temple, 48, number 17 Houston, 46. By the way, Houston undefeated on the season. Creighton is now leading number 21 Marquette, 50-47. They are just underway in the second half as well. Coming up still later tonight, number 4 Virginia plays at Boston College. 7th-rated Kansas home against number 25 TCU. Desmond Bain playing, of course, for the Horned Frogs. That is a 9 o'clock tip-off time tonight. If you don't know, Desmond played his high school basketball here in Richmond at Seton Catholic High School. Also tonight, San Jose State is at number 10 Nevada. That's an 11 o'clock Eastern time tip-off in Miami of Florida. They're playing at number 13 Florida State. That, too, will tip off tonight beginning at 9 o'clock. We will take a quick time out. We will come back. Your second half is on the way. Do not go away as the Quakers trying to get a win here tonight, get themselves right back into the thick of things in the HCAC race. It's coming up next right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
As Earlhamites, when we set our minds to do something, we see it through.
Because when we strive to do what's right,
we believe ways will open for us.
It's why we design inclusive playgrounds and innovative transportation solutions.
Why we work to solve water crises and pioneer new technology.
Why we commit to bridging gaps and exploring the unexpected.
It's why we stay curious.
Why we insist on better answers.
Because at Earlham,
we don't see the world as a project. We see it as our purpose.
And we recognize our own potential in making this earth more beautiful,
more just,
and more peaceful for everyone.
Earlham College.
Always moving forward.
Well, as we've said time and time again, Gerard, how you begin and how you end a half is really important. I don't think either team really established much at the end of that first half. So let's go to half number 2. We really know, bottom line is Quakers going to win. They got to shoot better. And you're going to take over the play-by-play of this one here in a moment, so I'll get a chance to analyze, which you know how good I am at that. So, yeah, I've never missed anything when I've analyzed a basketball game. But what do we got to do in the second half?
Limit the turnovers. Yeah, you're only at 8 turnovers, but you still have more turnovers than Hanover. So limit your turnovers and take better shots. You know, we've seen at times to where, you know, they run the offense, you know, they get a bucket out of it, but then they come right back and they try to force a shot and keep maintaining the rebound battle. You can't let Hanover start getting a lot of offensive rebounds and start winning the rebound battle.
All right, Gerard, you have play-by-play in the second half. Quaker basketball.
Quaker basketball. Phillips setting up Earlham's offense. Hits Barnes on the wing. Trying to go up top to their sides with Hubbard, but a tip pass by Hanover, turnover. And as Hibbard brings it up for Hanover and thought about taking the three, but brings it out for Hanover. Robertson gets a open three attempts and misses front end. Jamel Barnes for the rebound, and the Quakers look to push.
You know, on that last possession for the Quakers, you go back and look at it, I really thought that Hubbard pinned his man off well, but you got to really lob that pass in there.
Yes, you can't short that pass. You actually got to throw it a little further for him to be able to go get it.
There you go.
Hook shot by Hubbard, and he should start doing more of that. You know, he's got a 5-inch advantage over the guy guarding him, but there's been a lot of times throughout the year when he catches it in the post, he immediately throws it out, doesn't look to score.
Yeah, you got to chin that thing and look to see what's available first. Yeah.
Hibbard trying to take Barnes, trying to use physicality. Hits Hanover, misses the shot. Klonix misses the mid-range jump shot. Barnes brings it up. Looking to go to Hutchinson with his side. It's a great catch right there. And a layup by Hutchinson. 18:30 to go in the second half. Earlham cuts the lead to 1, 33-32.
And a prime example of how you start the second half. Exactly.
Exactly.
Tell you what we'll do. Let's go ahead and take a timeout. There's your timeout right there at 18:22 remaining here in the second half. Hanover's seen that lead now cut to 1. This is Quaker basketball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For over 30 years, Reynolds Plumbing has been keeping the Richmond-Wayne County area running. Whether on commercial properties, restaurants, or residential, they've done quality plumbing, heating, and air work for thousands of customers. In a small town, a company like theirs cannot stay in business for as long as they have without being very good at what they do. It's not just about quality work, it's about customer service. If that's the kind of experience you want on your next plumbing or HVAC job, then Reynolds Plumbing has you covered. Call Reynolds Plumbing today at 966-0994.
Welcome back to the Athletic Wellness Center, Earlham basketball, and Earlham with a quick jump out in the second half to cut the lead to 1, a 6-1 run, and Hanover has the ball. Kevin Williams up top. Fails with the ball, pulls up for the three, off the mark. Tipped by Hubbard to Phillips. Barnes brings it up, looks to push. Nearly an offensive foul, but going to Hubbard, trying to use his size. Kick out to Stallings. Pull up jump shot, off the mark. Rebound by Williams. And that's another example. See, I did not like that shot right there.
Yeah, I didn't either. And, well, got a shot from here on the near side.
And three-pointer by number 21, Blake Robertson. 36-32, and it's just, see, a 5-point swing.
Well, and you're right about Hubbard. I think if Hubbard establishes himself a little deeper on that block, he doesn't have to try to dribble in. I'd rather see him get on the block first.
Even that, and you continue to back down your man, and that might draw help, just like we saw right there, and you can find the open man. And I didn't think it was a bad pass by Hubbard. I just thought Stallings could have maybe one more pass or try to go to the basket. I thought that was another forced shot, and then it led to a 3-point shot by Hanover.
Yeah, while you're doing a couple of things, I'm going to watch Hubbard next time down. I want to see where he establishes himself on offense to see if he tries to get to that block first.
As we see, fails, fouled on the drive to the basket. I think they're going to get Hubbard for this one, and they will. And he clearly does not like the call.
Well, if he comes out, that blows my chance to see what he does. So, and he's coming out. Well, you know, the thing is, you can't always blame Hubbard. He's supposed to be back there, and he's got a guy. And if you're not going to stop the penetration, it's awful hard for him to say, well, listen, I got to at least protect the rim if I can. But, you know, I always look at the guards. Keep that guy in front of you. Don't let him penetrate.
Hubbard is the last level of defense that for the Quakers. But good defense always starts with your one-on-one matchup. You can't get beat and always have to rely on the help defense to save you. And Fails makes 1 out of 2 free throws. 17 minutes to go in the game, 32-37. Hanover with the lead. And Hanover brings its full court press, trying to speed up the Quakers. Good pass by Sanborn. Hutchison uses his big body for another layup. 3-point ball game. Phillips picks up Fales full court. You see another good possession right there.
That was a really good possession. And I'm really not sure if they can stop Darrell. Here's a 3.
3-point shot by number 5, Hibbert, and that was a bad closeout by Barnes as you saw him stop, and there was a good 2 to 3 feet of space between Barnes and Hibbert, and with a good shooter like Hibbert, that's a practice shot.
Exactly. Now here's where Darrell has a chance. Now I know he's setting the screen here, but I'd still like to see him back down there again.
And 3-point shot by Phillips off the mark, rebound by Fales, and that's a good point, Troy. You know, you're one of the biggest guys on the court right now. You're having a good game around the rim. Use that body, post up, and demand the ball. You're a senior at this team.
Yeah, let him and go to him. Well, there you go. That's, of course, now you go back the other way. You're going to get the foul and the basket. But he just got done taking every time he's taken it to the basket, he has virtually scored.
He's virtually scored, and even when Hanover makes contact with his body, it doesn't so far seem to affect him. And as the senior of this team, in crucial moments like this, it is a great opportunity for you to get on that block and demand the basketball. And missed free throw by Williams, fails to complete the 3-point play, but Hanover has pushed its lead back to 8. And I think that's one of those times to where they had cut the lead to 1, and it seems like they got over the hump. But then a couple of bad offensive possessions leads to a 3-point shot and 1, and bad defense on that possession by Barnes got a wide open shot for Hibbert, and all of a sudden you're back to an 8-point game.
See, and I'm not so sure right there the ball's going to go to – Darrell gave up the basketball, and I don't think you give up the basketball. He was right in the area where you think he'd have a comfort level, and he gave it up.
I think there's a fine line between not being, like, too selfish and still playing team ball, but at this moment in time, you know, the lead is failing from you fast. That's where senior leadership comes up, and that's a good time to lead your team and go get a quick basket. Bonin with the 3-point shot off the inbound play. It is off the mark. Hibbert is pushing for Hanover. He takes it all the way to the hole, and we're going to see another foul on Earlham guard, number 10, Isaiah Ware, and Hibbert will go to the free throw line for 2.
You go back to this end. Blake just came into the ballgame, right? Mm-hmm. I never like a player coming out and shooting the basketball unless he's maybe gotten up and down the floor at one time at least, and he just came off the bench and
I understand trying to get a quick spark for your team. Yeah. I agree with you on that unless you have an absolutely wide open shot. And I mean, it was a good look, but coming after halftime and sitting for a few minutes, you ain't got your legs with you, right? One time up and down the court, you got your legs back under you, and I believe Blake hits that shot next time coming down.
I agree. Yep.
And first free throw missed by Hibbert. Makes the second one. Just a little bit over 15 minutes to go in the second half. 43-34, Hanover leads.
You notice now Hanover's gone to that zone trap, and what that does, it really slows Earlham down, and they really then end up with a lot less on that shot clock.
3-point shot by Jamel Barnes is good. Cuts the lead to 6. And you said it right, slows them down, and also maybe force Earlham to get a couple turnovers and keep extending this lead. Fadeaway shot by Fales is good. And we got a timeout by the Panthers. 14:42 left on the scoreboard. Hanover up 45-37 on the Wesley Bates Wealth and Management scoreboard, and we will be back.
For over a century, Richmond Power & Light has been providing safe, reliable energy to the citizens and businesses of Richmond and the surrounding area. Through their dedicated and talented employees, they are advancing their tradition of exceptional service through new technology, training, and efficiency in everything they do. Richmond Power & Light provides reliable, low-cost energy and technology services in a customer-focused, environmentally responsible, safety-conscious manner. Richmond Power & Light. Together we make powerful partners.
Welcome back to the West Athletics and Wellness Center. My bad. Hanover has extended its lead to 8, 45-37, with just under 15 minutes to go in the ball game. And, as we said earlier, one of these crucial times to where we thought Earlham maybe got over the hump, started the second half out great, but one of those lapses we talked about to where the team takes advantage. Earlham goes into the bad basketball, and they need to find their way out of that quickly. 3-point shot by Barnes. Short. Rebound by Williams of the Panthers, and Fales brings it up. Mid-range shot by Fales, off the mark. Rebound by Bonin. Finds Ware, who brings it up. Barnes takes it to the hole. Makes a guy fall down. Gets an easy floater. Bucket by Barnes, 39-45, just under 14.
You know, you look at that last possession. Did you notice when Barnes, there's a turnover, when Barnes went in, nobody else went in to rebound? Nope, nobody went in. I certainly would think you want to crash the boards, especially if you know that somebody's going to shoot the basketball, go in and try to get an offensive rebound.
As we see a foul by Hanover's Kevin Williams. And you see, I like that right there. Williams was showing good sportsmanship to offer help up for Hutchinson, but he said, no, I want my teammates to come pick me up. I like that right there.
I was going to say, would you go help somebody up during a game?
No.
I never helped anybody up.
No.
Why should I? I'll help them up after the game, and I'm going to help them up during the game.
During the game, I don't like you.
That's right. You have no...
In a competitive kind of way, I hate you.
Yeah. You
yeah.
Even if you're playing against your mother, you don't help her up.
But see, I like that by Hutchinson because most guys will, get helped up by the other team and, show good sportsmanship. But he said, no, I want my teammates to come help me up. Get away from me. Both free throws good by Hutchins, and he will get subbed in. Q Rucker comes in, and Q has established himself in the game yet. Couple of wild plays, got into foul trouble early, so let's see if he can make an impact for the Quakers in this second half.
Well, the nice thing about it is, again, you're still not playing very well as the Quakers. You're still in this ball game.
You're still in this ball game. 3-point shot by Hibbert falls short, and it's, again, getting over that hump. We saw them cut the lead to 1 and then a couple of threes and bad offensive possessions, as we just saw right there. And I like the aggressiveness by Barnes. But I like the aggressiveness by Barnes right there. But I thought without getting a pass into the offense, it doesn't really play out that well unless you make the shot. And it translates into an and one bucket.
Yeah. There was, in fact, I think it kind of takes you out of the flow of your offense when Jamel tried to make something happen that really wasn't a very good look, and you looked at the other players, they weren't even close. I mean, they kind of almost felt like we're going to watch Jamel do it, and so nobody got into anything.
And as you said, he took that shot, and nobody goes in to try to get an offensive rebound. And, again, I like the aggressiveness by Barnes. I think it's picking your time.
Yeah.
I think, you didn't have no passes into the offense, so that's not the right time to go try to force the shot. And Q trying to back down, finds Barnes, goes right back to him, tries to use his quickness, and he will get fouled by number 52, Christian Reed. And Rucker will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Well, and he got bailed out of that one because that really was, he wouldn't have a good angle either way where he was going.
Yes, he was going under the baseline, so he was going to try to do a back reverse layup, and those are always tough to shoot. So you said it right. I thought it was a bailout. Bailout foul.
Unless you're 6'9" or 6'10", and you can reach up that way or come back with a left hand or something. But, yeah, that's a tough shot right there. Hey, I was going to tell you one other thing and I want you to you'll be doing the play-by-play. You won't notice quite as much. But watch and see when a shot goes up, how many players actually go find a box out. That's the other thing you don't see anymore.
What did I tell you pregame? A lot of guys get caught ball watching.
Yeah.
As soon as the shot goes up, they watch the ball. And you just said it right. They do not find a man. And I think that's why majority of the season they've been out-rebounded, because we've seen when the shot goes up with Earlham, a lot of guys don't crash. But you look at Hanover, the shot goes up from the three-point line, they crash.
Yeah.
And that leads to a lot of offensive rebounds. And a 2-point bucket by Hanover pushes the lead back to 8. Just a little bit over 12 minutes. Barnes for 3. It is good. And he's gotten much more aggressive in the second half, and he's carrying the scoring load for the Quakers so far to start the second half.
Well, and that was a good look. I mean, It wasn't something that you felt was out of control.
That's the difference between, passes in your offense and no passes and trying to force a tough shot. Hanover, number 14. Harp off the side of the backboard. Sanborn brings it up, finds Bonin. Extra pass to Isaiah Ware. Takes it in and turns it over. You see trying to force it a little bit. And Robertson, and one basket, foul by number 20, Sanborn. And I think that's just been the story of the ball game. When they have good offensive possessions and they get buckets and set their defense up, they're right there. But then when they get a bad offensive possession, Hanover takes advantage of it and gets. That's the third and one we have seen in this second half alone.
Well, and what did Isaiah try to do? There's
tried
three.
To force it,
yeah,
yes.
there's 3 defenders there, and he tried to take it right into those 3.
And at that moment, just gather yourself and kick it right back out. With 3 guys right there, somebody's open.
Yeah, and you're not going to be unless
exactly.
if you can beat 3 guys, great. But I don't see it happen very much.
I like my chances with the open guy rather than trying to beat 3 guys.
Exactly.
Sanborn hits Bonin on the wing. Hutchinson takes it, finds Sanborn. Open 3, good. And it's just so much difference when there's passes and unforced errors by the Quakers. They're scoring almost every time.
Yeah.
And then they come down on the defensive end. Hibbert, guarded by Bonin. Takes it all the way, gets the easy layup. You see, that's something you can't have happen. He dribbled the entire possession and gets an easy layup.
And again, with the playing man-to-man, no backside help at all on that one.
But you also got to do a lot better job as the defender. You can't allow penetration that easy.
I think you go to Darrell at some point.
Barnes with the 3, and as we see, no passes. Dribbling, trying to force a shot, doesn't work out well. And that's just not how you're going to be able to get over the hump. Hibbert with the drive, finds Reed, uses a hook shot, and it is good. And we got a timeout by Earlham. 10:15 to go in the ball game, 48-57 Hanover on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, and we will be back.
Our community. It's where we live. It's where we work. It's where we play. At West End Bank, we're not just in the community, we're a part of the community. And that's why we support over 100 programs for local nonprofits and schools, including our financial literacy program that positively impacts countless students throughout the area. You bank locally, so we give back locally, to watch people grow with endless possibilities.
Welcome back to the Athletic and Wellness Center, Earlham College basketball, and so far, the story of the game is when Earlham has played team basketball on the offensive end, they score almost every time. But then when they don't and they try to force shots and go one-on-one isolation, they miss. Hanover comes down, and they have taken full advantage of those opportunities.
And that's why the lead gets down to 4 and it balloons back to 9, 4-9, 4-9. And as I said in the first half, you're only going to have so many runs before you start to say, we just can't seem to get over that hump.
And as I said earlier, every time it gets a little bigger. See, now it's at 9.
Yeah.
Once it was at 7, then it went to 8, now it's at 9. But one thing I don't understand is when you play team ball, like I said, you're scoring almost every time, and it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Hanover hasn't stopped you when you play team ball. So what I don't understand is why go away from it?
Yeah.
Like, why on this possession will we try to do one-on-one isolation basketball, and it has not worked?
Well, and I don't have an explanation for you other than a player or two thinking that maybe if I make a play, it's going to spark us. But that is, again, you got to do that within the system.
Exactly. But you don't even need that because, again, when you're sharing the ball, you're getting wide-open looks. And this half, you've been hitting them.
Yeah.
And so, if you were missing them, I can understand the mindset of, okay, let me do something to try to get a little spark. But when you do team basketball and it's working, you can't go away from it.
Well, and again, when you have, and I'll say this, and maybe I'm completely wrong, I just don't know that they have the ability to stop Darrell if he will go ahead and see, he gave it up there, I thought, a little bit too quick.
Yes. And I get not being selfish, but I think there's times to where, okay, you got the hot hand, go for it. Stallings for the 3, bounces in and out, rebound by Hanover. Good full court pressure by Phillips. Hibbert brings it up, drives all the way to the basket, misses the layup, and we got a foul call on Hibbert. That's a strange call.
Yeah, Hibbert's like, what did I do? Now, I'm going to go back down here for a minute. I'm kind of thinking, and help me if I'm wrong, have you seen anybody screen for Darryl?
I have not. I've seen him set screens and then roll to the basket or pop, and he's been killing off that. But, that's a good point. I haven't seen nobody set a screen for Darryl.
So what do you think might happen if they'd set a screen for him and let him war? Because you're going to end up with a mismatch if you get a guard over there, right?
Yes, and more times than not, if they set a screen for Darryl, they may switch. You get the guard, you take advantage of that. Or, as we saw right there, the big man goes under the screen, and Darryl can use his speed to try to catch them off guard and take them to the basket.
I think that'd be a great thing to do. Just see what happens.
Exactly. Or when he goes over the screen and big man goes under it, another and one that's the fourth and one we've seen by Hanover on the second half alone, and they are just taking advantage of these and ones.
Well, and kind of what you see Christian Reed do, he kind of plants himself down. He's not getting the 3-second call because he's not in there that long.
No.
But he plants himself long enough, and, he's a wide body. If you don't get him out, you got to push him out of there.
Exactly.
And make sure he doesn't establish position down that close to the basket.
And Reed misses the free throw. 9 minutes to go in the ball game, 59-48. And as we said, Troy, it gets bigger and bigger. And now time is running out for you to keep going on these runs. There's still plenty of time to get back into the ball game. And another time, Sanborn catches it and didn't have control of it. And Robertson misses a three. Rebound by Stallings, but he didn't have control of it, but yet tries to force the layup.
Let's see if they get a good possession right here because they need one.
And there's still over 8 minutes. There's still a lot of time left to get back into the ball game and take the lead, but you can't afford to keep catching up and letting Hanover go on these runs. 2-point shot by Isaiah Ware. We got a timeout by Earlham. 8 minutes and 17 seconds, 50-59 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management scoreboard, and we will be back.
Summit Computer Systems is a full-service computer manufacturing and support company founded in 1997. They partner with businesses and individuals to provide computer systems, hardware service, support, design services, high-speed wireless internet, network design, and more. Summit Computers, 1427 Chester Boulevard in Richmond. Give them a call at 939-2120. Are you looking for the right place to work out? A place where you have several choices and can have fun at the same time? Well, that place is right here in Richmond, Family Fitness Works. Family Fitness Works has spinning, Zumba, kickboxing, core works, kick fit, body pump, body flow, and much, much more. And don't forget, Family Fitness Works also has Richmond's most extensive free weights and Nautilus in the area. Check out their website at familyfitness.com or stop by at 213 North 3rd Street in Richmond.
Welcome back to the Athletic Wellness Center. Earlham basketball. Earlham trails by 9 with just over 8 minutes to go. Hanover will have the ball. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Earlham press right now. Usually when you call timeout after a quick basket, you set up your press.
Well, you know what? And I know there's still plenty of basketball to be played, but you almost have to. You got to now start forcing a little more tempo here and getting some turnovers and try to get some easy baskets. They're 10 of 18 in the second half. You're 8 of 19. I mean, they're now shooting where they were last year in the two games.
And, I mean, Earlham has done good. 2 turnovers in the second half. But what's killed them is fouls.
Yeah.
And every time they have fouled, Hanover has made the shot.
Yeah, that's right.
And then bad offensive possessions leads to easy shots as well.
And where are they getting their shots? Right around the basket, except
Harp
for that.
hits a deep three for Hanover to push the lead to 12. And as I said before, Troy, it gets bigger and bigger. And Earlham is now under 7 minutes. You have got to buckle down defensively as we see a mid-range by Barnes off the mark. And another possession I just did not like. One screen and a quick pull-up.
Yeah, another one and done.
Nearly a turnover by Fels, but he gets it back for Hanover.
Now, see, they'll bring their big guy, get that screen, a little screen and roll action.
Yep, pass out, Harp for 3, good.
Yeah, 2 big ones.
Yes. And what I don't understand is on that drive, Stallings came and helped a little bit, just a quick little help, but that's all the space a shooter like Harp needs. And, as a defender, you got to read your man during the game. Knowing Harp is a spot-up catch and shoot, and we see a two-pointer by Hutchins, but knowing Harp is a catch and shoot kind of guy, you cannot leave him, especially after making a three the previous possession before.
Yeah.
Hanover up 13, 65-52 with just under 7, and number 11, Rats, hits a layup to push it to 15, and as we see a timeout by Hanover, 67-52, 6:47 to go on the Wesley Base Wealth Management scoreboard, and we will be back.
Mendenhall's True Value in Richmond is your local source for the things you need at home or your business every day. Everything from hardware, tools, carpet cleaner rentals, window and screen repair, lawn and garden supplies, as well as hunting and fishing licenses. It's all in one place at Mendenhall's True Value Hardware, right around the corner at 125 Southwest 5th Street in Richmond. Give them a call for more information at 962-4842.
Hey, I want to remind you that today's game brought to you in part by Jason Wise, the Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. He has an idea for an alternative fundraiser for your school group or nonprofit. If you list, buy, or refer a customer and mention this promotion, he'll donate 10% of what he makes on the transaction to the school group or nonprofit of your choice in your name. Tell your friends, family, colleagues to mention this offer when listing with Jason Wise at Better Homes and Gardens First Realty Group. Give him a call at 969-3400. Pretty sure that last timeout was a media timeout, so each team not charged with that timeout. There may be one more into the 4-minute mark. Always, I guess, kind of depends on where we at and where they can establish that media timeout. But by the way, that's something new this year in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. So,
Earlham trailing by 15 with just under 7 minutes to go. And I think we've seen Earlham, they've played hard today. I just think Hanover has really taken advantage of the Earlham offensive possessions to where they try to do isolation ball.
Yeah, they're going to have to. And then again, when you get to a certain point and then you see a shot like that and you go, where did we establish?
Yes.
What were we looking for to gain? What was our main focus saying, what do we do here? And I didn't see that right there.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, boy, you got a guy that is your leading scorer. He's 7 of 11 shooting tonight in 28 minutes and 16 points. And the bad part about that is if you felt you had any momentum going, you lose a guy like that. Now, and again, we can all say it's easy. Well, the next man has to step up here, but that's a lot to take away from an Earlham team when you're coming from behind by 15.
Yes, and yes, next man has to step up, but it takes more than one guy to give the type of production that Darryl brings to this team. And since there was a foul that sends Fales to the free throw line for Hanover for a 1-and-1, and he makes the first one, pushes the lead to 16. And hopefully that is just a minor sprain and you don't lose Hutchinson for any more time, because without him, Earlham takes a dramatic hit.
Yeah.
And it'd be very tough to climb back into the standings without a key piece of the team.
Well, he's stretching it out, so I don't think it's anything that's probably keeping him out long term. But, boy, in injuries, you never know.
Yes, but any hope of coming back in this game, you would love to have him. And Earlham struggling to find a shot, and very tough contested three-pointer by Isaiah Ware, and he's limping down the court and can hardly put weight on his own ankle.
Well, that came down to another possession where you settled on that shot.
Yes, and there was too much dribbling, not enough passing, and then it led to a tough three-point shot as the shot clock was expiring. And Hart passes it back out to Fales. Good pump fake on Barnes. Good extra pass. Clocks, wide open three. Oh, nothing but net. And the lead has been pushed to 20 for Hanover with just a little bit over 5 minutes to go. And
well, their mentality, if you're Hanover now, is I can run clock. And that's how I got a good look, because bottom line is you're going to have to chase me on defense now.
That, and it goes back to what we saw Earlham have so much success. You know, on that possession, we saw Hanover have a good 5 to 6 passes. You know, you catch Earlham on the help defense, and what do we say at halftime? Don't rely on Hanover missing those wide open shots.
That's right.
And so far in the second half, they're not missing these wide open shots.
And Earlham's scoring drought, as we see, has gone over 2 minutes.
And fails. Wide open layup. It is good. And Hanover just keeps putting the beating on Earlham. Barnes brings it up. And I think it goes back to what we said in pregame. You know, Earlham started the half out strong, but then had another one of those lapses. Hanover takes full advantage. There's not playing 40 minutes of complete basketball.
Well, you got how long was it? You had a scoring drought in the first half. You survived it, and now you got a scoring drought of 3 minutes. Not quite as long in the first half, but a 3-minute scoring drought in a game when you've already been behind. Mm-hmm. That is, again, just a tough thing to overcome.
Hubbard uses his big body. It was great defense on Reed, but Reed, great shot. And just think about it. With 18 minutes to go, and I will save this point till after the timeout. We got a timeout by Earlham, 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go, 76-52 on the Wesley Bates Wealth Management and Scoreboard, and we will be right back.
Today's game is being brought to you by Tri-County Awards in Richmond. Customized awards and quality engraving services. When you come to Tri-County Awards, you'll get nothing but the best customer service. We take pride in our prompt service and easy availability. Celebrate success with a gorgeous medal, trophy, or plaque from Tri-County Awards. We've been crafting awards since 1972. Choose from a wide variety of designs and styles. We're a locally owned and family-operated business. Tri-County Awards, 1001 South East Street in Richmond.
Welcome back to the Athletics and Wellness Center, Earlham College basketball. Earlham trailing by 24, 76-52 with just under 4 minutes to go. And I think Coach Polykoff, don't want to say conceded the game, but he's starting to bring in some of the guys who don't normally see a lot of game action. Number 23, Liam Wilkerson, comes in for Earlham, and he sees his first action the game tonight.
Well, your combinations, if you've tried several, it hasn't really worked very much tonight. There's another one-and-done possession.
Yep.
When you look at that, what is that, a 17-2 run over 4.5 minutes?
And, you know, going back, who would believe if we told you with 18 minutes to go and you see another three-pointer by Hart, they are just on fire right now. But with 18 minutes to go in the second half, it was 32-33. Hanover only had a 1-point lead.
Well, look what they're shooting. 68% in the second half.
My God. Galloway backs down, turns, hits the hook shot. 79-54. We just hit the 3-minute mark. And number 12, 42, John Sacaleros set to check into the game. Yes, 68% in the second half.
Yeah, those are just phenomenal numbers.
Yes.
And now, of course, Hanover's going to empty their bench, so this one's going to go to the Panthers. So they get a big road win here tonight, and now the Quakers look at the 5th loss in the conference. Now, 5 losses are not going to get you out of the playoffs, but now you think about what you have to do to get over all these teams now.
Yes.
And of course, one of them would be Franklin coming up on Saturday. But Rose, Transylvania, Bluffton, Hanover, Anderson, those are all the top teams. Those are 5 teams. Somewhere you got to get in there.
Somewhere you got to get in there. And you're right, 5 losses won't keep you out of the playoffs. But
you can't make many mistakes the rest of the way.
But the way you're playing, you're not going to be able to just go on a run. You have to find how to play a lot better. And, like, if you're Coach Polygoff, what positives can you take away from this game?
Well, I'm not sure what you would say. You certainly would think about you made a couple of runs, but the offensive execution is going to have to be much smoother. There are way too many one-and-dones in this game. I think we would both agree with that. I think he would agree with that as well. It just seems like when the offense starts to sputter a little bit, and again, we're late in the game and all this will be mop-up time, but you start to say, well, if nothing's happened, I'll just shoot it.
Exactly, and Hanover really took advantage of that tonight.
Yeah.
Every time Earlham did a one-and-done or isolation, Hanover would come down and they would score, and the lead would just continue to grow and continue to grow. Going forward, you have to figure out how to keep playing team ball all the time, and then you have to bunker down on the defensive end.
You have 11 games remaining in the conference. So if you run the table, you're in great shape, but the odds of that happening are probably not real good. So think
Not the
about
way you're playing.
You got 1, 2, 3. You only have 5 of those at home, so you got to win all of those.
Yes.
And you still have Rose on there. You still have Transylvania and Anderson on there. So you got 3 of the top teams. So you got to win. And then that means you're going to have to find a way to split all of your road games the rest of the way. So you can't do any worse. If you can win all 5, that means you got to go 8-3 the rest of the way.
Well, in order to get back into the contention of the league standings, you're going to have to beat the top teams.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. You're going to have to beat the top teams. And in order to beat the top teams, you got to play so much better than what you played tonight. And as you said, you got to win all home games and play better on the offensive end. There's too many times to where you guys, Earlham is doing isolation basketball. And then defense, there's too many open looks that teams are getting.
Well, this is going to be another game where we mentioned the 2 games last year where Hanover shot 50%. They're going to be at over 50% in this one here again tonight when it's all said and done.
And, as we said, with 18 minutes to go, it was 33-32. Since then, they have scored over 45 points. And another layup by Hanover, scored over 45 points. They're shooting over 60% in the second half alone.
Yeah.
At some point, you can say, like, okay, this team was just on fire like that. But at some point, you got to look at your defense and say, were they on fire by shooting very tough contested shots? Or how many shots did they make to where they were open or had a little bit of space or easy layups? So that's what you got to look at on film.
Yeah, and your next 3 games are winnable. So let's make sure you got Franklin on Saturday. It's a home contest. And then you're going to go on the road to Defiance and Manchester, 2 teams that are down there at the bottom of the conference standings. So those, if you're going to win your next 3, now you're starting to say, okay, we've got Bluffton, Anderson, Transylvania, all 3 in a row. And those are some of your top teams, and that's where the meat of that schedule is going to happen. So I think January 23rd through January 30th, those 3 games right there, if you can win the next 3, those are the key. And that means you got to win 2. I think you got to win 2 out of the 3. You got to beat Anderson and Transylvania at home, even if you lose to Bluffton on the road. Okay.
But in order for that to happen, you're going to have to increase your level of play.
Yeah.
Playing how they played tonight won't get the job.
This is a team that is I think he's going to have to shorten his bench a little bit. He's going to have to find a way to refine some things on offense and figure out what is our purpose when we go into these sets.
Yes. And on film, you're going to be able to tell when we move the ball, we got good looks and made a lot of them. But then times we had isolation basketball, one and done, no passes, and those possessions would kill us on both offense and defense.
By the way, 2.2 seconds remaining in this one. And again, we're going to be back here on Saturday. We have a men's and women's doubleheader because that free throw is no good. So Franklin will be here. Now, Franklin, as we mentioned earlier, they were at home tonight against Rose, and so you'd assume already that probably Rose is going to win that contest. But nonetheless, it's going to be another big game as this one is now in the books, and the Quakers lose it by a final of 83-57. And again, people say, well, you seem to be talking a lot of negative about the Quakers, but they got some things to fix. And all of it, that's one thing I should say. I think it's all fixable.
Exactly.
But you got to do it quickly now.
It's not so much it's just negative. It's just being real.
Yeah.
And what was put on the floor today, there's not a lot of positives that happen. Yes, everything that happened tonight is fixable, but that has to come from the coach, and then has to come from the players. It's not just going to fix by magic. The team has to come together and fix these problems.
Well, that's now 5 in a row for the Quakers. They fall to 3-11 on the season. They're now 2-5 in the conference. They're just, well, depending on what happens with Defiance, they'll be just 2 games ahead of Defiance for 10th place, 9th and 10th place in the conference. And, of course, a big win here tonight for Hanover. They're now 5-2. They've won their 10th game, the 10 games that they have won. Depending on what happens, they're the winningest team in the conference at 10-4. So, but they really turned it on in the second half. So, give them a lot of credit as well, as they really took advantage of everything the Quakers threw their way. All right, well, we'll see you Saturday, and again, there's a lot of time between now and Saturday to get some things fixed. As we mentioned, it's a men's and women's doubleheader. The women, I think, are at 1, and the men are at 3. So, or around 3:15 or so. And we'll have both games. I know the women are trying to fight their way into a playoff spot as well. So 2 big games coming up on Saturday. Final score once again, Hanover beats Earlham 83-57. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you Saturday right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.